let's start up with the crew on the ground as they are packing up their camp in the morning and getting ready to meet the day. Uh, it is just minutes before sunrise. Somebody was very eager about that. That somebody was Eileen, and it was a very restrained eagerness, but it was still more eager than she's previously been seen.
By the way, Ben, if you're watching Discord and wondering why it looks like I'm talking constantly, I had a technical issue last night, and fixing it led to just the green ring always being on. In case you noticed that at all.
More on that later, if needed. And that crew on the ground was, I believe at this point it's just the only player that's here is Dude.
Yeah, it was me, Cap, and a handful of NPCs.
Wait, didn't we retcon it that Nemo is down there?
No, we retconned that
Nope.
the Dude is down there.
Yeah,
Dude,
Nemo
never went down there.
Yeah. All right. Brain fart. It's morning now, right?
It is morning. It is
Okay, yeah.
sunrise, minutes before sunrise.
Gotcha.
Cap and Eileen are sitting at the edge of the hill, peering out towards the growing sunrise.
So they woke up before the sun. All right.
Yeah, it was Eileen. She was the one that was eager to see the sunrise.
Well, Dude was enjoying playing, so he wouldn't have actually had much to drink the night before. So I could easily justify the growing light, especially sleeping outdoors. For some reason, when the light starts coming up, you just kind of wake up.
I believe it's a caveman reflex. You should get rid of that.
I mean, you know me, and I sleep in, but the handful of times that we've gone camping and whatnot.
No, Matt, you're absolutely right, and so am I. It's evolution. That is how we wake up.
Mm-hmm. Brain's like, whoop, whoop. Something might eat you. Get up.
Mm-hmm. Nice, I've beaten evolution.
Yep. So have I.
Yeah, it is possible to beat evolution into submission, but not always.
So what is Dude doing?
Well, he stretches. How temperate is this planet for night? Did it get cold?
It's chilly. It's
okay.
chilly right now. You guys definitely needed to use the either the furs that were bought or the like heat absorbent blankets.
Okay. I'll wander over. What do you reckon? How long till sunrise? A minute or two, or 10-15?
Eileen checks her data pad and she says 2 minutes. You can already see the light, of course, cresting over the horizon.
All right. Well, there's not enough time to make some coffee, but hang on a second. He steps back to the little camp area, grabs 3 little glasses, pours 3 small shots of his personal bottle, comes back over, hands one to Eileen and Cap if they'll take it. A toast to the sunrise.
Eileen is not as interested.
Mm-hmm. A toast to greet the day. And waits for the sun to peak up. As soon as the first bit of the curve of the sun comes up, he'll raise his glass, clink with anybody who offers, and take a drink.
All right. Cap certainly touches glass. Eileen does too.
He's a-
It's just a gesture.
It's a tiny little shot. Just
Yeah.
a gesture more than anything else. Well, that was nice. We got anything else holding us on this rock cap, or we heading back to the ship?
Well, I wanted to give the NPCs a little more time. She didn't say NPCs.
Right.
I wanted to give the crew a little more time to relax. And some of them wanted to watch the ceremony.
Cap has gained an uncanny awareness of the fourth wall now.
Well, I can understand the impetus. Seems a little bloodthirsty to me, but I will admit to a mild curiosity. When are they having that thing?
Set at the peak of the sun. So noon.
Right about now. Oh, peak. I'm sorry. Thinking the wrong thing. Is that just going to happen down in the valley there, or they got a place set up for it?
Apparently it starts in the city, at one of the gates.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I admit to some mild curiosity, but it seems like a brutal kind of ceremony if nobody ever survives the damn thing.
Eileen pipes in. They're going to get killed anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know if I'm how comfortable I am with the whole idea of a visibly public execution that is couched as a fight. I mean, it seems nice enough that they're technically giving them a chance.
They're not giving them a chance, and I think they know that.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not going to, like, tie him down to a table or something, right? They're going to just put him out in an open area and let the thing take him? Does that sound about right?
You guys haven't, at the mountain, at the hill here, you haven't gotten that much detail.
Right. I don't know. Listen, the way they talked about it, it didn't sound like it was going to be a, what the hell was that old movie with the big giant monkey? And a
King
lady
Kong?
tied to it.
Hong Kong? No, King Kong, fucking
King
hell,
Kong.
not Hong Kong. That's a different kind of title. That's
The
Million
wandering-
Pound Paramedic.
Mm-hmm. The wandering thought is absolutely in character. I know which movie I'm talking. Yeah, I mean, if it's one of those situations, that's even weirder. But I mean, if they're at least giving him a fighting chance, I suppose it's. I mean, I don't know.
Cap says, I don't think it was supposed to be a fighting chance. This is just punishment for their crimes.
Right. Wonder how long this tradition dates back. Wonder if it's pre-Scream or.
Oh, go and ask.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to know. Well, I'll think on that for a minute. I'm going to clean up the campsite. And dude wanders back over to the fire and grabs a couple of the pots they used to cook whatever dinner they had. Starts scrubbing them out, splashing water in them.
Okay. Kevin and Jishin and Castan are definitely all hungover.
He's seeing that. Once he finishes cleaning the things, he's gonna try and put together what he would think of as a decent breakfast for somebody who's recovering from the effects. Standard camp breakfast type stuff, but heavy on the bacon for grease and fat. He is gonna make some coffee, and he is, without telling anyone, and ideally without anybody noticing, he is actually going to mix in some of the fire water in with the coffee, just to get a little bit of the hair of the dog, to maybe get people a little over the hump.
Okay. Alright. While Dude is doing that, we got a couple people on the ship. We'll say that your sleep schedules were more or less synced up, just for convenience sake. I think that's a little bit off, but that's how space goes.
Space.
Also, I know that Colleen had a very active night of dancing and cake.
Is she going to show the after effects of a night of sugar and exertion?
Wasn't exactly a night. That happened before the meeting.
That did happen before the meeting, but she still had an active time, and that's entirely up to Nick. Nemo just had his time with Nova, and what did Nemo get up to after that?
Did he actually do that as a... Oh yes, he went back and reviewed the recordings of his talk with her
That's
extensively
right.
to
He did say that.
familiarize himself with her body language.
Okay.
Create a baseline to work from.
And Hugo would be on the same sleep cycle as the planet because he's with Darius, who is. Plus, I think Ben mentioned that they just kind of drank until they passed out, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's wearing off, and of course, with it is coming the headache, the hangover. Which of you would like the camera? Are any of you doing anything upon reaching this new time slot?
Asking when the Jade event is.
Okay. Darius complains about the noise. And then says that it's always held at noon, according to Hunter's Lodge. So whatever's noon for Hunter's Lodge.
And when would that be?
You've got about 5 hours.
Oh, sweet. Do they like stream it or what?
The natives don't. Sometimes a mercenary with a drone is given permission to fly it out and broadcast it back up to the ships. Sometimes someone takes down a shuttle and opens it all up so people can look in at the view screen.
You know if anyone's doing that today?
Oh, we could.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right. Just give me a couple more hours to sleep this off.
All right, I'll go. I need to stretch. Get ready for the day. I'm most probably going to be flying a lot.
Yeah, man. And he slumps back over. All right. What is Hugo going to do?
Pretty much just have a wander around their ship. have a nosy.
Nice. Well, I will tell you for free ahead of time that dude does not lock his door.
It's not that ship.
The other ship. The ship he's currently on.
Gotcha. I forgot. Yeah, we went over to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nosy, seeing as what his friend's flying with.
Nice. Is he gonna open his medicine cabinet? Take a peek in.
Well, it's not his friend's ship. The friend is just flying it. So it would be somebody else's medicine cabinet. Let's see. Oops. Excuse me. The cough is dying down. It's still just that little bit annoying every now and then. Well, Orchid's ship. I think I said it was a frigate, right? Pretty sure I said it was a frigate. I don't actually even. Oh, Dead Horse. Yes. There we go. Dead Horse. I'm like, what did I even name this ship? Session log. Yeah, I didn't specify what it was, but frigate seems to be the most reasonable. And Hugo finds the kind of standard spacefaring belongings of a handful of crew. Most of the crew doors are locked. I don't know if he's actually trying to wander into crew quarters.
No, he's not going in personal areas. He's just having a nosy.
Okay. It's a well-maintained ship and has little bits of reminders and artifacts of native life here and there. You know, a wall might have a fur stretched across it, or a little dream catcher hanging from a doorway.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing particularly fancy about the ship.
Okay.
It does have a spike drive 3. I suppose that's fancy.
Mm-hmm. Helps getting around.
Certainly does. Alright. Is he doing anything else after that?
No, just go chill with their crew if they're about. Get to know them.
No, only Darius is around.
In which case... Nah. I'll just wait in the bridge for it.
Okay. Alright. That's right. Frigates can't have shuttle bays. They're too small. Huh, which actually means that the ship would have needed to land to get anybody off the ship. I guess Darius could have just brought it back up. It's not a problem. Colleen.
Yes.
Is she doing anything?
Well, first of all, daily routine on checking on the patient.
Okay.
See how the patient is doing.
The patient is bored. And she says as
Okay.
much as soon as Colleen walks in.
How can she be bored with that giant entertainment library? I've watched it all.
Is Colleen asking her that?
Yes.
TV is only fun for a few hours.
It's way more fun if you watch the right stuff.
I am tired of watching TV, Colleen. And the TV has been shut off.
We don't have much in the way of books. We're not like a pleasure cruise.
I feel fine. Let me walk around. Or am I still prisoner?
That is a good question. Do you intend to shoot anybody?
No.
Do you intend to do harm to anybody in any other sort or fashion?
No.
Do you plan on stealing the ship?
No.
Do you intend to do anything to
No.
the ship?
No.
Kidnapping? It's popular.
Still no.
I mean, you can. Alright, I guess you can walk around. There's just not much to do. I mean, I'm glad you get to walk around. It could be worse.
Da da da.
Well, I just kind of found out they're killing your old buddies on the planet.
That's fine. Didn't know them. She is starting to.
How's everybody fine with this but me?
Was she strapped down?
No?
Okay. She starts pulling.
She had medical equipment attached, I would imagine.
Yes, she starts pulling that off of her. And out if anything is piercing her.
Nah, unless she needed a transfusion or something like that. But then
Nah,
I'd
she
imagine they
was
got taken
past
care of
that.
days ago.
She really was just on rest and, monitor. And to Colleen's question, she shrugs. They lied to me and Coop.
Well, I'm not saying they're good people. They're kind of assholes, and
They told us
as
that
evidence
if
has
we
it,
didn't kill
too stupid to
you,
live.
then you guys would kill us without asking any questions.
Well, I can see where they might have arrived at that idea. I mean, they were wrong, but that doesn't mean to be okay with just sending them over to be killed.
No, I'm saying that's why I don't care.
Well, it was more as a general thing
I
of
could
killing
have
people.
sat quietly in the pilot's chair and let them resolve out their differences without getting holes in me.
Well, you kinda got those holes because you were shooting. You could have not shot.
Because they told us we had to shoot or you would kill us. There was no choice.
Yeah. Well,
Kill you or they'll kill or you'll kill us.
I mean, yeah. That still doesn't mean you have to be okay with people getting murdered.
She looks over at the
For just doing
screen.
stupid shit.
Says, "It's like being being assaulted by a horde of zombies from 13th Night of the Walking Dead." There's a film on in your cache here.
I mean, I
They're
get what
zombies
you're
now.
saying, but yes.
Zombies don't have lives, right? Don't worry about it, kid.
As having been assaulted by actual zombies, it's not quite as easy.
What, to kill zombies?
Well, at least we sort of felt bad about it.
And she stands up. Slowly. The big groan. Oh. Phew. Wow. Hang on a second. One moment, please. She says, "Ugh, last time I sat so long in one seat. It's a straight run from Un to March. One pilot, no sleep. Oh, I don't want to do that ever again."
Isn't that kind of the whole job? You sit in the chair and you fly from one point to another point.
For multiple days, no. But Captain had strict rules on that ship. And yes, kid, I started taking work from that captain. She pats Colleen on the shoulder as she's loosening her limbs and walking towards the door. Also, don't worry. Won't take any more work from captains about to be killed.
How do you determine that in advance?
Captain on planet about to be killed. Won't take any more work from him.
Well, because that makes a good interview question. Are you or any of your crew under imminent threat of death?
That's not a question you get the straight answer to.
See, how about you just work for the people who say straight up no to that?
Pat Colin on the shoulder again and starts her way out the door.
Please don't break anything. I'll get blamed.
It's okay. I saw a kid running around. I'll blame him.
That's how I end up getting blamed all the time.
I can see that. She's done talking unless Colleen follows her and continues talking to her.
Nah.
Okay. Does Colleen do anything after that?
Yeah, he goes actually back to work.
Okay.
Being inspired by the movie reference, he goes back to work on a little virus.
Okay. Which virus? The Nemo virus?
Nope, the Terra Mortis one.
Ah,
The
okay.
Nemo virus is complete. We're just waiting on implementation.
The Nemo virus is complete, correct. You're just waiting on the what?
Implementation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Like post experiment, there's a time and a place.
All right. That leaves Nemo.
Mm-hmm.
Is he doing anything worth putting the camera on?
Nope. Just unless anything else happens that requires attention, he'll just focus on studying trend body language.
Okay. Well, he's been doing that for a few hours already.
I figured that would take more than a few hours.
For only the short interactions he's had with Nova, and only one trend.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay.
he's using her as the baseline trend, and he's had 2 so far, so he has those 2.
Okay.
Not to mention when he actually, not to mention when they went down to the surface and saw other trend.
Okay.
Assuming he has health. Actually, that's probably a good question to ask. How far and how detailed does he actually store such memories, and can he pull stuff like that up?
I thought we actually concluded that he doesn't store
Right.
video or
I guess he
audio.
can't.
Yeah.
I think you're right. We probably did. I just forgot.
Yeah.
Right. In that case, you'd only have the 2 stations from the ship.
Yeah. He's working off. His memory is good, so I'm not, gonna make it more difficult for him for not having actual video in memory. But yeah, he is still working off of memory. Which is funny, because even if he had video, I could say the same thing.
Well, yes.
He's working off of temporary and incomplete memory as opposed to an actual video file. Yeah, he can certainly spend more time on it. I will.
Something else that just crossed my mind that would interest him. Would it be possible for him to modify a face design to also include eyes capable of transmitting or receiving the trend signals used for optical communication?
No, that's that's an actual mechanical modification. Hang on real quick. That is actual mechanical modification, and he also doesn't know the specific engineering details of their communication.
Right. So that's something you'd have to talk to Nova about then.
It is something he would have to talk to Nova about. Or get some kind of specs on essentially the cybernetics that they use. That is cybernetics that they're using to do that.
Yeah, but from a strict rules perspective, Nemo can't use cybernetics.
Right. And I hadn't intended to change that for the advanced androids. I will think more on that inquiry later. At this time, he doesn't have the means to do it anyways.
Fair enough.
Or the means to even study it.
Mhm.
So he continues
Yes, then I guess
studying and compiling body language.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The camp gets packed up. Those who are suffering from a little bit excess drink the night before get their breakfast and get their coffee. And they're groaning about the bright sun. And it does seem a little bit brighter than I think we're used to here on Earth. I guess that wouldn't have much relevant impact on people who regularly travel through space, though.
It would depend on how often they make planetfall, I imagine.
I'm thinking more the suns and stars that they pass that are not filtered at all through atmospheres.
Right.
And I think, as I said with the sunset, the sunrise is nice, but it's nothing spectacular. It is just a regular sunrise through a planet with an Earth-like atmosphere. It is only a little bit brighter than Earth's sun. Of those already on the planet, Castan is interested in seeing the ceremony. Eileen has already said that she is.
AFK moment.
Okay. And Cap would like to go back up to the ship just to kind of return to what she feels is home.
So Cap isn't going to watch the ceremony?
Cap is not going to watch the ceremony.
Dude, having given it some thought, decides that he is, tells Cap, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Eileen and watch this thing. I mean, I don't know. Just sticks a little bit of closure on the end of at least this chunk of people that fucked us over. Figure I owe it to him to watch him deal with whatever the hell is going on.
She gives a sharp chuckle and says, "They're already dead in my mind."
Well, that's what I kind of figured.
They're done and dealt with. Turn them over. I know their outcome.
Fair enough. Well, send somebody with the shuttle back down when we want to come back up. But see you later.
Well,
today.
I'm gonna see if anybody else wants to watch this ceremony. I'll let them come back down. And Chi-Shin is also going to join you guys. So there's the four of you: Castan, Chi-Shin, Eileen, and Dude. Kevin and Cap are going to take the shuttle back up. After a couple of hours for you folks on the ship, those who would be alerted to such thing are receiving a shuttle entry. That's mostly Colleen right now. Unless Hugo's got his data pad out, is actively monitoring that.
Nah, he's just chilling in the bridge of what was it? Dark horse, whatever.
Dead horse.
Dead horse.
Okay. um, Cap comes back with Kevin. And she makes a quick announcement across the ship that, what are you guys right now? The Tabula? Mistral?
Oh, still Tabula.
Okay. She hits the intercom, pauses for a second, and then says, excuse me, hang on a second. The Tabula will be leaving this system in by the end of today. Anybody else who wants to go down to the planet, get some fresh air, and watch a native ceremony, this is your last chance. And then she goes about her business. None of the shipboard NPCs are interested in going back down. So that leaves only Colleen and Nemo. Do either of them want to go down?
No, but at some point in the next few hours when she takes a break, she'll make a quick call.
Actually, Nemo would like to at this point.
Okay. Alright. Let me know when Nemo wants to go down. He can pretty much take the shuttle at any point. He's the only one.
Well, do we have a timestamp for when the ceremony is taking place?
You've got about 4 hours now. Actually, about, say, 3.5 hours.
Okay, in that case, we'll continue with another watching and compiling for another 2 hours, and then taking the shuttle down.
Okay. Over there on the dead horse, Darius has made some arrangements with another ship that has a shuttle. It's got an open layout so that it's easy for anybody to look past and see the view screen. I should say an open, wide layout with a wide cargo door. A couple people can actually sit in the shuttle, but mostly people can, stand outside and look in.
So, we're gonna attach a drone to this thing or a camera. That way we can stream it to everyone else.
I thought somebody else was going to do that. There's usually at least a couple people doing that. We'll just hitch onto one of those feeds.
Can you say that again? I cut out.
Oh, he said that somebody else is going to do that. There's usually a couple people flying drones to watch, and he'll
sweet.
just hitch onto one of those feeds.
Sweet. So, when's the last time something like this happened?
Yeah, it's been a few months at least.
So Bit of a build-up then.
Little bit, a little bit. It's not like it's a huge event. It just, yeah, it gets the attention of people who haven't seen the Jade Curse before. And he thinks about it, and I guess it gets the attention of people who like hunting down the Jade Curse.
Why, is there a bounty for killing one of them things?
No. It's just
Just the thrill of it.
the thrill of it. He nods.
Well, let's have some fun.
Alright. He hops in the pilot's seat and that's making his way over to the ship that apparently will have the shuttle for them. It's a bit of a flight. Takes about an hour and a half to reach the other ship. But when you get there, the shuttle is already set up and prepped for you. And you meet somebody, presumably the owner or the pilot, who says, don't get it scratched, don't get it damaged, take care of it. And passes
You
off.
break it, you buy it.
Yep, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
I was just saying, you break it, you buy it.
The guy looks at Hugo and says, yeah, that. You guys can hop in. It's nothing particularly special about this shuttle except that it is fairly wide and has a wider than needed for human cargo bay door. I suppose what would be exceptional about it is that it is a shuttle with dedicated cargo space, despite being so small. It doesn't have a lot of cargo space because it's a shuttle, but it still has more than most get. And Darius flies it down. It takes another about an hour to get back over to Hunter's Lodge.
Okily dokily.
Nemo heads on down in the shuttle. And we'll fast forward a little bit to just before the ceremony. There is a little bit of excitement in the air. And of course, a few of the gathered are telling stories of Jade Curse things that they've personally killed and shot down. Most of the stories involve atmospheric config fighters or actual land and ground weapons and vehicles. There are a couple who boast of charging into a fray of them. Nothing like the 12-meter tall samurai, but a fray of shambling zombies or other beasts that wouldn't be firing weapons at them per se, and chopping at them. One thing you're all noticing from this, missing from the stories, is that although they occasionally talk about specifically targeting Jade Curse beings that aren't firing back, nobody's actually talked about Jade Curse beings firing anything. Nobody said that they've been shot by one or had a ship taken down by any kind of ranged attack at all. There are exaggerated close encounters of ships nearly being smashed by large, massive Jade Curse beings, but nothing is actually shooting at them. And the three of you players may meet up if you like. Hugo is busy setting up the shuttle with Darius. Nemo, I imagine, is kind of looking around. There are a handful of natives here, but mostly mercenaries. And Dude has Eileen, Chishin, and Castan in tow. You are all directed to the north gate. That's apparently where the ceremony is being held today. Castan raises his hand. Says, Hey, Nemo! Hey, dude, it's Nemo!
Hello.
Yeah, I see you, man. It's only been a day since you saw him. Don't get so excited.
Yeah, man, but he's here with us on the planet.
Yeah, he does that sometimes.
Nemo, how you doing?
Quite fine, thank you. I decided it would be a shame to miss out on this unique ceremony.
Yeah, it seems like a real cultural thing. That's the extent of his observational wisdom.
We'll turn to Dude. I trust your camping experience was pleasant.
Matt?
Sorry, I was reading something. My backstory. I missed that. What was that?
I trust your camping experience was pleasant.
Oh yeah, it was nice. Good to sleep on something that wasn't covered by a roof. Yeah, it was good. I think a couple of the kids here overindulged, and I think they're still feeling the effects. But other than that, no, it was quite pleasant.
I'll admit I am somewhat puzzled by the notion that sleeping under less comfortable conditions can be a pleasant experience.
Well, I think what happens is that the environment makes the experience pleasant enough that you can ignore the physical discomfort. It's more of a well, hell, I mean, it seems a little silly to say it, but it's a little more spiritual experience. Puts you in touch with uh, eh, your roots, I think.
I see. Curious.
Well, it's probably built into us. I mean, humans spent a hell of a lot longer sleeping outdoors than they have sleeping in houses and shit.
Hey, Hugo! That's Hugo over there! Castan is pointing at a shuttle.
Is Castan that guy at the fair? The one who notices all of your friends as they're doing their own thing that just happened to be there. Hey! Yeah.
Yes,
see him.
he is. He's good at his job.
Are we supposed to have music playing?
Oh.
Because I don't hear anything.
Oops.
Oh, so There's nothing playing.
There
I
was
don't-
nothing playing. That was my bad.
Yeah.
Where are you guys?
just-
Hello. That's right.
Chirp, chirp, Twitter, Twitter.
Can't we have something more execution-y?
I'm
Yeah, I was
working on
gonna
it.
say. Dun, 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 dun.
Unfortunately, if I change it, it might not. There we go. There's more execution-ish.
Changing tracks always starts at playing for me. It just doesn't always loop for whatever
That's
reason.
what I was. Yes. That's the problem I've discovered. Yeah. Hugo is pointing out, or not Hugo. Castan is pointing out Hugo, and Chishin says something sharply in Chinese.
What did you say?
If he shouts one more time, I'm going to kill him.
Nemo will reply in Chinese. Perhaps you can have him added to the ceremony.
She's never heard Nemo speak Chinese, or has she?
I don't think she has, no.
Okay. She flicks a surprised glance over at Nemo, but responds back in again Common Jin. I know he would probably befriend everything that's trying to kill them.
Nemo will smile at that.
You'll notice that there are actually a few natives kind of wandering over to take part in the drone viewing that Hugo and Darius are setting up. And Castan starts making his way over there. Darius and Hugo, you were given some kind of insider coordinates on what it would be a great location to land the shuttle that will not at all interfere with the ceremony or really impede on any of their custom and ritual. Even if you're way out, you're given a good location where people can both watch the ceremony where it occurs here at the gate, and then once that part's done, turn around and watch into the shuttle for the drone feed. So your audience that is growing here is initially, well, they're milling about right now. They're facing the shuttle to see what's going on inside there, just kind of watching idly, not like they can help or like there's anything interesting to watch just yet. And some of them are just kind of standing around talking amongst each other and looking in the direction where the ceremony is going to physically begin. Castan comes over.
Hey guys, I got your beer.
No, he's going over to Hugo. Anybody following him?
Nemo will look to dude, question mark.
I gotta imagine he's probably gonna try and bring him back, considering he flagged you down. Eileen and Chishen are still standing here with Nemo and Dude, right?
Yeah. For the moment.
Dude kind of looks at Nemo. So what are you looking to get out of this ceremony? Just informational?
I'm always intrigued by observing observing the social customs of various civilizations.
Makes sense. I'm just really curious what the hell all the hullabaloo was about. Guess we'll find out.
And it would be interesting to compare and contrast this particular particular cultural function with that of SOS.
Yeah. I will admit I am a little curious as to like where the hell do these jade things come from? Like, is this thing just gonna like appear out of thin air, or is it gonna come out of a cave or some shit?
I'll admit there are numerous numerous questions regarding this curse that has me curious as well.
Yeah, and I mean naming it curse, it makes it sound all mystic and shit. And while, you know, they certainly had some mystical type feelings about those things, they were just aliens and science and shit. I gotta figure this is probably the same thing.
From my understanding, however, the Jade curse is not a single unique life form or species.
Yeah, I kind of heard that, or well, something like that.
Which would lead one to speculate that it is instead some form of viral or bacteriological agent, an infection of sorts.
So wait, everybody's just seeing shit?
Oh no, I believe it is quite real. I mean that it is an infection that infects an unfortunate already existing host, turning it into whatever the curse is.
I gotcha. Okay.
Similar to our experience in that collapse, in that failing tower.
Right. But it doesn't seem like it ever affects humans. I wonder if that just means we don't have a natural, you know, tie-in to it, or there is some kind of directed intelligence. Is Colleen coming down?
I don't believe so.
It's too bad. I would have wanted her to have one of her drones with sensors pointed at whatever the hell is going on, just out of curiosity. See if anything pops up on scanners or some shit. I got to imagine somebody's already tried that. Like, this can't have been happening long enough and somebody didn't go, hey, I wonder what happens if I pointed an electromagnetic scanner at this thing while this shit's going on.
I'll admit I have not been keeping a close eye on planes coming and goings on the ship while you were gone.
Fair enough.
Which
Well.
I will also admit has been a most liberating feeling.
You know, man, I can't disagree with you. You know what? Dude taps on his communicator and sends just a quick text to Colleen that just says, "Hey kid, you busy?"
What's up? The response comes pretty much instantaneous.
Mm-hmm. Is the ship in orbit is the ship in geo orbit over where we happen to be, or close enough that the sensors can point at it? He's asking Colleen. Just
Gotcha.
I mean, I could point them.
it takes a second. Nemo kind of sees dude thinking, and then he types away. I got to admit, I'm a little curious about what the hell all this Jade curse shit is. I was kind of hoping you'd be down here with one of your drones and some sensors, but next best thing, just out of curiosity, point the ship sensors down where we're at. I want to see if there's any energy pulses or anything while this shit's going on. Don't do anything to obviously interfere with it. I don't care enough about it to mess up these people's spiritual sacrifice or something. But just curious. See what the sensors pick up.
Probably nothing unless it's massive. We don't
Considering
have that granular sensor. Also, do you really want me to record a murder?
One, it's not murder. It's being done in the justice system of a particular planet. Two, considering that I've heard some of the things are big enough to knock ships down and out, you never know, might be something.
Just because they think it just doesn't make it any less murder.
I will note you down as an objector to the death penalty. You okay pointing the sensors down?
Yeah, point the sensors. That's not granular enough to pick up the details, so
Fine by me.
don't
I'm
have
just
to
curious.
watch that stuff.
No worries, kid. I wasn't planning to watch it myself, but I'm more curious about the Jade curse than I am about somebody getting offed. Just so you know.
Sure, it will be great comfort to those two.
They made their bed. Thanks, kid. And dude puts his pad back in his pocket.
She objected on ethical reasons. Ethical grounds, rather.
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, not everybody likes the idea of just somebody getting killed because of a breaking a law or something.
Curious.
I have to. Well, I mean, when it's you versus somebody else, and it's self-defense, and you didn't initiate it, you got kind of the moral high ground. Once you captured somebody and you just decided that they broke some generally arbitrary law or made some decision that put them on the wrong side of whatever you've decided is right, and you decide that the penalty for that is killing them. I mean, if you get down to it, it is all just kind of arbitrary. You've just decided to kill.
She advocated heavily for the destruction of the ship that we had rendered helpless and crippled.
She did. There wasn't anybody alive on that.
Yes, there were.
Well, she didn't consider anybody alive on that. We had that discussion. I was
True.
on your side, remember?
Yes. Remember. Thank you. It is
Well,
appreciated.
Not a problem. Like I said, it's if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, as far as I'm concerned, all this shit is arbitrary. There ain't no guiding force. There ain't no true right or true wrong. There is just what you decide is right and what you decide is wrong. So you decide to do right by the people you've decided are right. The rest of that shit will shake itself out until you turn to dust, and that's the end of that.
The dude abides.
I had decided on this personality for him before we picked the name, but it does work.
Yes. I couldn't help it.
feel pretty good about that. I should be wearing a bathrobe and drinking a White Russian. You're not wrong. Yeah, man. She's got her what do they call it? Ethical framework she's working with, and if nothing else, she's consistent with it. There's plenty of people that ain't.
True. Consistency is a trait that is often lacking in biological life.
Shit, man, you ain't wrong. I've known some guys. Actually, oh shit, man. Damn, where'd that turn of phrase come from? I feel like there was going to be a thought there. I haven't known some guys because I've only known you people. Or at least that's all I remember. I feel like I was going to say I've known some guys that have done something or other.
Curious.
Shit, man, this is confusing.
Perhaps the memory wiping effect is gradually wearing off.
I mean, I can't see how it could possibly be 100% on everything, or be so specific as to have left us with the memories needed to function in the world and universe, but taking out all of our personality. Like, I had to have left some shit in there. The way you remember shit is tied into other shit. It's got to be. I mean, I don't trust any of this science enough to say that something did something 100% complete. I know how the mechanics work of these things too well. Nothing works 100%. Everything's got something it's not doing perfectly as under the surface or something. But as long as it's not it's doing it within a tolerance of something, nobody notices.
Perhaps if we can locate the print caches of Pretech, it'll give us further clues towards what may have caused this effect.
That'd be nice. It'd be nice for everybody else. I think you were there when I was talking about it. I'm not too tied up in finding out or bringing my own memories back. Kind of like deciding the person I am rather than it being decided for me by my past experiences and shit. Like I said, it's all arbitrary. I get to decide what I like and what I don't. To a certain extent. I mean, obviously my tastes in music, alcohol, and food seem to have been set. Maybe.
Personally, I find that it's more irksome than anything else that there is that there is memory and observational data that I do not have access to.
I guess it would kind of bug you. I know what bugs Colleen most about it is that she was worried that the rest of the universe knows shit about us and is using it against us, and she don't know. She's nervous, and I get it. I just feel like that with some of the shit that's going on in the background, even if we knew about it, we wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So the net result's kind of the same. Yeah.
I suppose that's true.
Well, yeah. I mean, worrying about it, all that does is make you upset. Doesn't actually solve the problem. So don't worry about it. Don't not do anything about it. Just don't let it get to you.
That is a curious approach to existence. Thank you.
Not a problem, man. I feel like if you talk long enough with any one of us, with anybody, you're going to find a different approach to dealing with existence. I don't think anybody's got the same answer to the same question.
Considering the possible permutations to that question in relation to the number of biological life forms capable of sapient thought in the galaxy, it is mathematically unlikely that you would not receive the same answer from two different individuals.
Dude kind of gives him a look. It's that I want to disagree with you look, but I'm not sure you're wrong.
Nemo smiles at him. That was on purpose.
You know, you're getting better at this whole human interaction thing.
Thank you. Well,
I like to think.
Now let's go and watch a new form of human interaction that is ending other humans.
Well, now I'll tell you this. I got to feel like that's probably the oldest form of human interaction, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, let's go.
Quite likely, yes.
I'll move
Damn it,
over.
what's his name? See something. Castan.
Castan,
Has he stopped and talked with Hugo while this was going on?
Yes, and I'm going to move the camera over there right now.
Cool.
Hugo. Castan is jogging up and looking in at what you guys are doing. Oh, hey! You're putting on a show!
Yeah.
Oh, tell me how I can help.
How about you let people know about it?
You got it, man.
No problem. You get the word out. Make sure everyone knows.
He makes his way around doing his thing. So let me retcon the answer to your question, Matt. No, you do not see Castan over there with Hugo.
So he walked over to Hugo and then they both walked off.
No, Castan walked off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you see Hugo turn to Darius, just like say something and then high five it.
Okay, was this a two okay friends and it's kind of a subtle high five, or was this a full dude bro lean back slap high five?
This was a thank fuck we got out of that.
Gotcha. All right, good. Just when I needed to know where we were on the sliding scale of high five.
Yeah, it was a thank fuck we dodged that.
Well, Castan dutifully and proficiently goes about basically promoting the broadcast of the event past the initial local stage, I guess you'd say. Points over to the odd-looking cargo shuttle. Notes how the dimensions make for optimal viewing capacity. And crazy, in the hour or so that you've got left, he even convinces a couple of vendors to bring over things for people to sit on, so that more people can watch as it's a little bit tiered and layered. Some of them are just long benches, but there's still places for people to sit. At the time that Dude looks over to try and find Castan, or looks over to see what's going on with Hugo, Castan actually is not anywhere to be seen. He disappeared during the space of a Dude's chat with Nemo.
Alright. Well, I'm sure he'll turn up. Turn to Nemo. Eileen and Chishin. Well, we want to find a spot that has a good view, or...
Well, Eileen kind of looks over towards the shuttle and says, well, looks like Hugo is setting something up over there. People are gathered around there. Probably a good spot.
Yeah, sounds about right. Dude starts walking over.
Alright. Jishin and Eileen follow.
As will Nemo.
And if there's no meaningful conversation with Dude, Nemo, and Hugo, then I'll fast forward.
Alright.
Nothing? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
Castan does his thing, gets a few benches around, as well as kind of a limited supply of refreshments, but refreshments all the same. Gets those first to Darius, Hugo, and then he gets those first to Darius and Hugo. And then the rest is available for a small fee, a small credit cost. Soon enough, the sun hits its peak over the north gate here, and various chatter, murmuring starts to fade off, silence. And those of you not familiar with the proceedings, see everyone else, or well, see those that are, look over towards that north gate. And both to the east and west of it. To the north gate. Sorry, to the north and south of it. To the south of it is the town, and from that direction you see Orchid with a couple of native folk in native garb. Well, you see a couple of people in native garb. They might not be natives, but they appear to be. Walking and guiding the two prisoners. They also have a pair of horses with them. To the north, you see kind of a mirror image of that. There's a native dressed man walking with. I'm sorry.
Are the prisoners armed, or are there any weapons available anywhere nearby?
They are not armed.
Okay.
To the north, you see approaching a man in native garb, followed by two other men in native garb, also pulling horses with them. And
actual horses, not alien horses?
Actual horses. Their meeting coincides perfectly at the north gate. There's a space between them where Orchid is on the inside of the gate, and you were told that they were going to be turned over to a chief of a local tribe, so that's what you can assume. The chief is on the outside of the gate. Neither of them have actually crossed that threshold. You are close enough to hear words spoken. And there are many words spoken. The ceremony goes in such a manner as that very long-winded thanking of basically everything that is natural and nature for everything that the natives live. It is made even more long-winded by, with every single thing, interjecting this is coming from Orchid, that she has left the planet and has seen nature from space, and then bringing that comparison back down to nature in the planet and connecting the two. About midway through her speech, the four men that are with, well, the two men that are with each of them, so a total of the four warriors, begin performing a little bit of a ceremonial dance. It shifts in time with what she is thinking, and as I said, this goes on for some time. She is not talking fast, and she has a lot to say.
Gotcha.
There are drones that have flown up and zoomed in. They're keeping a very good distance away from the actual ceremony, but they've been able to zoom in using, droney technology. And Hugo can certainly capture one of those. He's been given the access codes to all the various drones, so he could have set up a little bit of a relay, or not relay, but a couple of data pads so that he can look and see what has the best angle and flip that to the screen at any point. Once Orchid completes her part of the ritual, all four of the men stop dancing suddenly with a stomp, and the prisoners are ushered across the threshold. Neither Jade nor the two men that are with her, it's like that gate is a barrier that they're not allowed to cross in this ritual. The same goes for the other side. The two men step past the chief to approach the gate, but do not cross it or reach past it. They do grab the two men and pull them through, and then bring them back to stand behind the chief. And then the chief has things to say.
So this is every government ceremony ever. 2 hours of people talking for 5 minutes of the actual thing happening.
Perhaps.
Gotcha.
The chief's is shorter and considerably darker. The chief actually turns around and talks about the blights that humanity has basically inflicted on nature everywhere man goes. Oh, and I should also say that this is actually all being said in their native Seven Tribes language. So those of you that don't speak it are reading subtitles.
I was going to say, we're at least getting subtitles.
Yes, you do. And they're pretty good subtitles. Yeah, he goes into he crests with Maltech and the just affliction and affront to nature that even seeking it out truly is. There is no dancing. during his part of this ritual, but there's a stomp at the end of his at the end of his part. The chief and Orchid simultaneously turn and walk away from each other, and the prisoners are guided away from the city for a few paces. Well, several, about 50 to 100 meters. They're basically guided away from the city before the two warriors climb up on horses and then bring the two prisoners up with them. The GM now realizes that this leaves the chief without a horse, which is waiting patiently at the point that they stopped walking.
Convenient.
And they ride off. All in all, the speeches were probably about an hour and 20 to hour and a half.
Yeesh.
Many of the mercenaries have gotten a little bit bored.
I came here for human sacrifice, and I had to sit through this shit.
But they don't look particularly surprised by this. Most of them knew what they were getting into. There is another drone following these people as they ride away. A drone that does not have a camera feed linked to it. And about 15 minutes horse ride away from the city. It's a fairly good distance. Excuse me. They finally stop. And there's more ritual. This one at least is short. All three, the two men are left tied up and placed. They're taken off the horses and left on the ground, not dumped or crude or anything, just put on the ground and left there. The horses are moved away from them, and the three natives start doing a ritual, almost kind of like a rain dance, but well, everything looks like a rain dance if you don't know Native American dances.
True.
But they're dancing around in a circle, in a widening circle, widening spiral, I guess it would be, around the two prisoned men, two tied up men. And the subtitles that you're getting from the song that they're singing is basically let Maltec appease nature's wrath and spare the planet, the galaxy, the universe, and all that is nature, basically, is what it translates to, so that mankind can find peace in his place amongst the stars. When they finish their outward spiral, they each get on their various horses. The two men toss spears that they had with them at the prisoners. They're able to cut their binds and stand up as the three of them ride away. The drone that was not transmitting anything is still hovering over them. Taryn and Joey look at each other after they've used the sharp points of the spears to cut themselves free. You can hear them discuss which way is back to town briefly, and they start walking. There's a bit of a tension in the crowd, and a hush falls over them the closer they approach the edge of the imaginary circle danced by the natives. And as soon as they cross that circle, something falls from the drone, hits the ground, and kind of blips. That drone then zips away. Both Taryn and Joey look back. It's kind of sized and shaped like a grenade, so they both dive for cover. Or dive to the ground. But there's no explosion. There is a bit of a rumbling coming from the ground, and almost a human-like agonized wail, wailing and moaning. The ground itself rises up into a green gelatinous substance, and quickly forms into the head of a wolf, a large wolf. 3 more of these come up, and they're clawing their way up out of the ground, making very human-like strangled cries and tormented moans as they rise from the ground. Not surprisingly, Joey and Taryn start running. With Taryn having to double back 3 steps because he left his spear. But he thinks that somehow the spear will help him, and so he goes back for it.
At this moment,
Emotional support here.
at this point, dude is kind of leaned over to Nemo. I don't know what the fuck I expected, but that ain't it.
This is curious. Yes. Do the after taking that wolf shape, do they still appear to be gelatinous blobs, just molded, just cast in a wolf mold?
No, they start to take on. They start to look like they harden, and take on a more textured musculature. And real quick, what was that, Nick? I thought Nick said something.
Maybe he said he was going AFK?
Oh, that might have been it, since he's not responding.
Just a guess, but it seems logical.
And no, they actually stop crying out in tormented pain once they have fully formed out of the ground, and you can see the last bit of the jade gelatinous goop separate from them. As soon as they are no longer actually physically connected to the planet's surface, they start looking around. They are congealing and hardening into textures and taking on shape and color. It kind of looks all very CG because as this is happening, they get fur. They get porcupine-like bristles around the collar and spikes along their spines. They are also standing about 2.5 meters tall at the shoulders. That is almost 10 feet, by the way.
Jesus.
The 4 wolves themselves look around.
It's 8 feet, actually.
Go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, it just said it's 8 feet, actually.
I couldn't hear you again. Sorry, what was that?
I said it's 8 feet, actually.
Okay.
10 feet tall at the shoulder would be 3 meters.
Oh, I did say almost 10 meters. Or almost 10 feet.
Well, it's 2 feet short.
That's still almost.
Well, in that case, I'll start announcing that I'm almost 8 feet tall.
You've got to be 7 something first. If you want to round up to 10, you can certainly do that.
Oh man. Anyways, 8 feet is 2.4 meters.
Yes. This is 8.2 feet. You happy?
Yes.
Um, the four wolves kind of look around, and at this point, most of the drones that are that are transmitting this broadcast are zoomed out to watch both the wolves and the running prisoners. They don't run very long. The wolves very quickly close that distance and make very short work of them.
Did the wolves seem to have any confusion about what they were doing? Did they look around, or did they immediately just home right in on the people and just run them down?
They looked around.
Okay.
Yeah, there's blood splattered all over each of the wolves, and parts of Tyrion and Joey scattered across the plains.
Are they actually eating them or just tearing them apart?
They're just tearing them apart.
This is certainly not natural animal behavior.
Well, those ain't natural animals. I mean, you don't quote me on this, and I'm not a scientific authority, but I'm pretty sure that's not where wolves come from.
Lol.
Well, there goes your biological pathogen infecting natural animals theory.
Quite.
Wonder if that shit's just flowing around just under the surface of everywhere we're standing.
I assume the initial sound emitting canister was a form of lure,
Hmm.
chumming
Feeding
the
venom.
waters, so to speak.
Right. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, there may be some bullshittery involved in here. Like, that thing might actually have been what created them. It might just be a convenient fiction that it's everywhere on the planet.
As I understand it, there are mercenary companies that actively hunt the Jade curse. Presumably, they would have noticed if the Jade curse only showed up when a drone delivered a suspicious package first.
Fair enough. Wait, what are they hunting them for? Do they stay in the shape of whatever they are after they get killed, or do they turn back into whatever that goo was?
Well, what's the wolves now? Are they turning back into goo?
It's funny you should ask that because they're not. After they've sufficiently and overzealously ripped the prisoners apart, to the point of deliberately walking over and crushing a skull.
They are taking their job seriously.
The wolves, individually and also in concert, howl. It's not a pained or tormented howl. It's a kind of a pleasant and just resonant howl. It's almost haunting in the way that wolf howls can be, but there's a very strong tinge of that feeling of the sound of satisfaction after a hearty meal. Kind of awe to their howl. And then they kind of crumble into dust.
Yep, not goo, just dust.
They start to fall apart, crumbling into dust as they're still moving, and the dust just swirls away.
Curious.
Some of the drone feeds are apt to zoom in on the absolute destruction of human bodies. Is Hugo showing those?
It's getting every little bit, mate.
Alright.
Get the money's worth.
He has definitely got his audience's attention with that, even those that don't want to see it.
We caution you against strong images. Against the images. Your discretion advised.
Somebody shouts out, "I think that's a spleen!"
The program you're about to see contains scenes unsuitable for small children. Your discretion is advised.
Up in Raza, Colleen wants to do any kind of analysis on energy signatures or anything that sensors are picking up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was asked to.
This is something you can go ahead and roll for.
Also, what I said earlier was emotional support spear.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's true. Um, Colleen sees nothing unusual, but her roll is too high for me to just end it with that. She can be certain of herself that whatever occurred down there is not something that would be picked up on her sensors.
Well, that's what she told Dude.
Yeah.
That, and she has the information that they drop a beacon and stuff, so.
Right.
The question is, does that thing send out a signal?
It does not.
Okay. Yeah, she kinda just flat and yeah, that's what I said. And she was going to place a call though. She was trying to get a hold of Tristan.
Okay. Tristan was unavailable, so nothing was lost there.
Okay. Yeah, she would just leave a message basically before he leaves the system and everything, as soon as he can, if he can send her the details on where exactly he found the fighter, basically what scrapyard in House Charon he picked that up on.
Oh, he already answered that though. He said it was all over. It was at the scrap yards on House Charon, or in House Charon.
Well, in that case, if he basically has the names of the scrap yards, in that case, basically all the information he had and where he went.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just tell you that information right now. He basically just sends a list of all the scrap yards in House Charon.
That works. Just that she wanted the names of those.
House of Scrap, House of Junk, House of Scrap Junk, House of Junk Scrap. Alright. What is going on the planet's surface? Yeah. Are any of the PCs doing anything now that the ceremony is full and completely concluded? That sounds like a no. Unless...
Yeah, no, I mean, dude just kind of, waits for everybody to be ready to go. And
the gathered mercenaries and natives disperse amongst themselves. Gonna go back to their own business.
It is not impossible that the Jade curse is actually quite like the native life forms of Zos. Perhaps some form of psychoreactive, shapeless alien, shape-shifting alien life form.
Yeah, I wonder whether or not you could I wonder if you had interviewed those two beforehand and asked them what their thoughts on wolves were, if they would have said that they were the thing they were worried about. Or if they take shape from what everybody watching is thinking.
Exactly.
Hmm.
If that is the case, that also raises the question if the lure that drew them in is in fact something that enrages these creatures and drives them into a frenzy, and if so, is it possible to engage in a peaceful contact with these beings under different circumstances.
Yeah.
Perhaps the latent native belief that these beings are administering a just punishment or curse for delving into technology man should not tamper with is what drives these manifestations.
Yeah.
All here is speculation, unfortunately, something that we cannot meaningfully test.
Yeah, I gotta wonder why nobody's, well, I mean, I have to imagine they'd need to be allowed, but how come nobody's set themselves up a little research center down here to...
Presumably, the natives take a dim view to such interference.
Yeah. I mean, if I was, well, I haven't seen any obvious evidence of the natives having a planetary defense grid. So, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could set yourself up a satellite and, observe peacefully from orbit.
I wonder if a soil sample could be obtained from where the curse manifested. That might be able to tell us something.
Yeah. Oh, you want to take a box of dirt back to Colleen? Wait. We give her a present as a box of dirt, but we don't explain where it came from. Or why we're giving her a box of dirt.
Is it possible to just walk out to where the execution took place, Mike?
It would take quite some time. They did ride for 15 minutes on horseback.
Right.
And they weren't just, walking on the horse or cantering. They're not a full-on sprint, but they were galloping.
Right. But the site itself is not like an off-limits sacred execution site that no one but the condemned are allowed to go.
It's not fenced off or some shit.
You haven't been told specifically not to go out there.
Post no bills.
You've also not asked. What you guys
Doing
thinking
so
that?
Also raises the problem that the curse might manifest again at the same site when we are trying to collect them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off there, Mike.
That's okay. I thought there was a lull. Go ahead.
I think we got a lull now.
You get a lull now. I'm gonna go over to Hugo. As Hugo and as the show is dying down, I assume Hugo and Darius start packing it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Darius asks if Hugo wants to ride back up with him or if he's got transport back to his own ship.
I'll come up with you.
All right.
Gotta make the most of the time together. Is it usually that quick?
The execution part or the speeches? Are you being sarcastic?
Both. I mean, they went on and on and on, and then it was over.
Hey. The speeches are the most important part to those of cultural significance here.
But like I said, is it usually that long?
Yeah, it is. It's also pretty much verbatim the same speech every time. That's how we got the subtitles so on key.
Ah, just load up the ones from the previous time.
Yeah, it's just adjusted the algorithm. I don't know the technical details of it, but it's still translating what they're saying as they're saying it, but it's using a specialized Maltech ritual translation algorithm thing. It is clear that Darius is the pilot and not the programmer.
Uh-huh. Whoa. I'd say it's been fun, but I wish it lasted longer.
Sometimes
sometimes
that part does last longer. It all just depends on what comes up out of the ground.
What usually comes up? Anything or?
It varies. We've seen soldierly type people in like these blue suits with old rifles and bayonets, pointy caps, not pointy caps, but like weird helmets with spikes on them. There were zombies once. That one took hours. Just kept on chasing the guy until he couldn't run anymore. He didn't turn into a zombie himself, though.
And, like, they just disappear.
Like that, yeah.
Weird.
That's the same way they disappear if they get, I guess, killed or destroyed. I don't know too much about the Jade Curse, much more than I've already, told you. It's just this crazy thing to avoid down here. Speaking of which, it has come up in towns before, so let's hurry up with the packing.
Sorry, say that again. I can't.
He said, speaking of which, it has come up in towns and near towns before, so let's hurry up with the packing.
Alright then.
Darius continues packing up. Castan comes over. Oh, hey guys! That was a pretty good turnout, wasn't it? This is to Hugo and Darius. Yeah, I mean, most people wanted to watch it anyway, so it didn't take a whole lot to let them know there was a good viewing screen over here. You picked some pretty good frames to hold on to there, Hugo.
Yeah. I mean, gotta make the most of it. Anyway, we're packing up. Why don't you go check in with the others? Make sure they're all ready to go.
Hey, are you going back to the ship? I'll come with you.
No, we're packing things away. He's got to take this to another ship and then take it to another
Oh, I
ship.
can help with
Yeah,
that.
you might as well go with them. It'll be quicker. I won't want to waste your time with it being so precious and all.
It's been a long time since I've felt like I can really help out.
I mean, you've helped enough already. I'm sure the others could need you. You've already done me a massive favor today.
Oh, they're just all standing around.
I mean, surely there's something they may need. I wouldn't want to, take any more of your time.
All right, man. I get the hint.
Do you?
Yeah. And he turns and goes back to the other group. I'll see you back on the ship, Hugo.
Yeah. See you in a bit.
Oh, poor Castan. Castan returns to Nemo and Dude. And if there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and cut to everybody being back on the ship.
Sure.
Okay. Does anybody want a quick break before we continue?
I'm good.
Nobody? Alright. You all separately make it back, well, the two of you, two separately, make it back to the ship. Hugo and Darius pack up, get the shuttle back to its ship, and get back to your ship. Get back to the Dead Horse, and then back to the Raza, eventually. And the other the other two of you, plus NPCs, make it back up to the Raza. And everyone is back. Cap is ready to set a course. Is there wanting to be any discussion on where you guys go next? Cap already has an idea.
I believe that Nemo's idea is the same as Cap's idea.
Well, Cap seems to have a plan, so.
Alright. One moment, please. Alright. I actually need a short break.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Absolutely
And
not.
Well,
Certainly your prerogative to call.
So we will be back in about 10 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Oops. Let me set us back in motion here, back in the right frame. Alright, we're back, and you guys are preparing to fly out to the edge of the system. Cap is eager to get going pretty quickly. You guys have already spent a bit of time in one place, and although it should be a place that's more or less safe from galactic mandate, there is no need to test that. So she's telling Hugo to step on it and get us to the edge of the system.
12,800 kilometers.
Ben, you back with us?
Yep.
Okay. You must have broken up. There was no response there. All right. There we go. So that takes Hugo with trimming the course and with his speed upgrades. $16. Right? It seems right. I'm pretty sure that's the same number we've used each time. So that is 16 hours. Oh, and hey, I guess Discord started showing the icons again. That's great. It wasn't at first. Unless anybody has anything pressing they want to accomplish in those 16 hours. You guys arrive at the edge of the system. Colleen continuing to work on her virus.
Yup.
All right, that gets her a full day towards it. I can't remember what I coded that, so I'll just say virus.
We're currently at 18 days of work done towards the entire virus.
Okay. And what is her current heal skill? You've leveled up a couple times since.
2.
Okay. All right.
2 and an improved med base since then.
Mm-hmm. And then Cap says, jump us out to Zenthra. Let me bring up the sector map for you, along with the sector map music, of course. Stellar map. It is a stellar map. In many senses.
So remind me, what's out at Zenthra?
Hugo is there.
Hugo wasn't
Zenthra?
on the planet of Trinity Shade, no. No.
No, but you
No,
know Hugo
no.
and Juga are there.
Hugo is there.
Oh,
Hugo, Juno, and Cujo.
God damn
Hugo
it,
goes
Nick.
to Hugo.
You're banned from my game. Banned from reading any material from my game. There, that's better.
So we off to the fate then?
I'm assuming this is a conversation that anybody can join in, so somebody respond, please.
Nemo's waiting for Cap to respond.
Oh, I suppose
Yes.
we could.
Laid out certain reasons why we're going there.
Well, that's where the cache is, right?
Cap says yes. That
Yes, it
is where the cache that Jupiter gave us the codes to is located.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
sweet.
get our pay.
So, how did everyone find the little event down there?
It was
Fascinating.
weird.
So let's go with Nemo. Fascinating. Why?
It appears to be. We appear to witness a manifestation of some form of unknown, unquantified alien life form. If that isn't
You
fascinating,
study it.
if that isn't fascinating, then I don't know what is. I would like to, given the opportunity.
Well, yeah, it was certainly interesting.
My current theory regarding the expressed extreme hostility is revolves around the species either being empathic or psychoreactive in some way.
Yeah, it was weird, if nothing else.
Which would also explain the apparent wild dysmorphism in the appearance.
Cap shakes her head and says, I don't know what to make of it, but I'm gonna go get some rest. And she retires.
Right on, Cap.
Actually, she says, but I need a drink, and then I'm gonna go get some sleep. That seems more likely.
Do we always have that star background on the star map?
Yes.
No, I never really noticed it before. Clearly, I don't pay much attention.
Obviously.
Each
Oh.
of those were hand placed, and you don't pay any attention to it.
Every little pixel of that.
Carefully hand
Infused with
painted by
meaning.
you.
It's actually, yeah, Nick is right. It's actually a puzzle that you guys will win the game if you figure it out.
Obviously.
And it's not just connect the dots. No, somebody already tried that. It was a mess.
Actually, it was a penis, but hey.
No, that would get me demonetized.
You still haven't actually hit that $100, have you?
No, not even close. Anyways, back to Hugo's inquiries. Anybody else?
So what's the plan once we get into system then? We're gonna just get the cash and get out of there, or are we sticking around for other reasons?
Well, I got to imagine we'd need to investigate and make sure we ain't going to get shot, attacked, or have the ship get eaten by some sort of eldritch horror from the other dimensions.
I would very much like to investigate certain Trin ruins there more closely while we're present.
Are we taking the Trin Mass with us? Or are we keeping her up here?
If you wish.
I figured it might be useful having her down there just in case it needs like a biological sensor, lock, trigger, something or other.
I will ask her if she wishes to accompany us to the surface.
It's only fair. I mean, technically it's her original homeworld. She should be allowed at least the option to take a look.
Also, if it's off the ship for a bit.
Nemo will call Nova.
She only takes a few seconds to respond. Yes.
Well, we are approaching orbit, and I was wondering if you wish to accompany us to the surface.
Okay. Her face goes through a variety of clear and stifled emotions. The question itself is very apparently extremely distressing to her. After a second of not answering, she looks around and says, am I on a view screen? And she very quickly cuts that off. Nova has ended the call.
Apologies if that was distressing to you, but the question remains, would you like to accompany us to the surface?
Is he trying to call her back, or?
Oh, she
ended the call.
In that case, Nemo will will leave the bridge and go to her quarters.
Okay. I'll stick with the bridge for a short second if there's any discussion about that. And then follow Nemo. Nemo gets to her quarters.
He will knock.
There's no answer.
And then he will knock again.
There's still no answer.
Then he will send a message on his with his espionage suit.
Okay. Is he just
Hello, I would like to talk further.
Apologies, didn't catch that one in time to mute myself.
Nemo Smith said, "Hello, I would like to talk further."
Hmm. He he hears yelled back through the thick walls of the ship. I'm not gonna yell it because in just trying to, I almost coughed again. She yells back, "I don't want to talk."
Can Nemo actually open her door?
Yes, he can.
In that case, Nemo will open her door.
As her door opens, he sees her sitting on her bed. She first looks shocked that her door is opening, and then hastily wipes away at her eyes. And she throws something at him.
He's not going to bother to talk.
Okay. We'll just say that there's a plate on which she had some food that she was eating. She throws that at him. It's metal, so it doesn't break.
Boing. Did that help?
No.
Would you like to throw it again?
Yeah.
Nemo hands her back the plate.
Does he back away or does he stay close enough to her to hand it to her?
He'll just pick it up and just casually underhand toss it to her.
Okay. She snags it from the air and wings it back at him.
Still not trying to talk.
Her aim is pretty good, but it is a plate and not exactly the best weapon. So, although it hits and does some cosmetic damage, it's not enough to actually do any mechanical damage.
It's an improvised ranged weapon.
Pretty much. She straightens herself up, clearly putting on a military front, and says, "Is this an order?"
I strongly dislike giving orders. I'm merely asking, do you wish to accompany us to the surface?
No. No, I don't.
Do you fear for your safety, or is there a more personal reason?
Billions of people died there, Nemo. They're still there. Just where they died.
The corpses, yes.
They just suffocated to death. And there's nobody to move them. Nobody to bury them.
A few months ago, was it a few months ago? Maybe more. How long ago was it since we found that that ship in the asteroid belt?
Um,
The colony ship.
the graveyard?
Yes.
Well, let me. Anybody remember off the top of their head? If not, I can look it up. Excuse me. That was... Oh, come on. Why aren't you scrolling? Come on. Oh, here we go. It was 2 months ago.
Oh.
So, close.
Yes. What was the system again?
That was in Shakul.
Okay, cool.
Or, sorry, Muran. Shakul was the planet that is not destroyed.
Right, but the Muran system.
Mm-hmm.
2 months ago in the Muran system, we encountered a ship graveyard. In the graveyard, we found a colony ship that contained approximately, was it 2 million, or there's a huge number of bodies.
There's a 500 million pods.
500
Yeah.
million pods.
Mm-hmm.
Containing approximately half a billion colonists in now defective life support pods.
Why do I care about that?
They died where they stood or lay. We shifted them as part of the as part of the scavenging operation.
Wait, he said you whatted them?
Shifted them as part of the. There was a lot of stacking of corpses involved at one point.
And
No. This clearly doesn't bother you. Why should these?
I don't know them.
Did you know the people on this boat?
They were my people.
Yes, but did you know them?
Get out. She attempts to throw an entire dresser at him. She is successful, but not successful. The dresser goes flying towards him, but it doesn't actually reach him.
Are we running low grav, or is she just really strong?
She does have a cybernetic arm.
Ah, okay.
Also, depending on the composition, I could throw a dresser.
Depending on what the dresser is made of, yes.
Yeah, and
And
how
what's
big it is.
And what's in it?
You're right.
Wait, so we have periods of zero gravity and we have furniture that's not bolted down?
Ooh, yeah, we are kind of stupid, aren't we?
I'm just
That makes a
pointing
good
that-
point. Yeah.
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 Alright, she tries and fails because it is bolted to the ground as necessary.
Mm-hmm.
As you wish. And Nemo will leave.
Okay.
And return to the bridge. Nova does not wish to accompany us to the surface. The death of millions of her countrymen, I suppose, there has caused her considerable psychological distress.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know that I would want to hang out like that. I mean, hell, we've seen enough dead bodies to last more than a few lifetimes. Never stops being crazy.
Approximately 500 million. At any rate, as I was saying, aside from the cash that we have come to collect, I would very much like the opportunity to study some of the ruins here, particularly particularly a site of android construction, the site of android construction facilities.
We getting anything on sensors?
You guys haven't actually jumped through yet.
Oh, I thought we'd
Or were
gotten
you
into
guys
system.
all assuming that you had? Was this a
Yeah.
conversation
yes.
you wanted? Okay.
Yeah, I thought we had arrived in system.
No, you got to the edge of
I,
the
I
whole hour
was
system.
not under that impression.
Sorry. I thought we were already there.
Okay. Well, is there any other interaction that anyone wants to have on the trip to Zenthra? It is only a oof. We could do this math again. It's 6 days divided by 4, 1.5, divided by 2. So 16 more hours. 18 more hours. Yes. So yeah, you've got a little bit of time.
No, unless someone seeks her out, Colina's barricaded herself in the lab.
Wait, I think I'm giving Hugo an extra drive rating. It's 1 day. It's one even day.
Yep. Okay. There's a nice little chatting discussion.
Yep. You said Colleen is doing what?
Barricaded in a lab unless someone seeks her out to talk.
Okay. One more day on the virus?
Yup.
Alright. Since you guys are so eager to get to the planet, let's go ahead and put you guys at the planet. You arrive in the Zenthra system. I'll move the ship there. And there are 2 planets and and 3 main moons here. Camiego, as you characters know from various tiny bits of information, is independently owned and governed, but typically frequented by slave traders. Aside from that, it doesn't have a whole lot to trade.
Mm-hmm.
It does amass plenty of Oh man, you guys were coming from Holau. It's actually 2 days. Because I had the ship in the wrong place. So, one more day on the virus?
Yup.
Okay. There are typically pirates in the various regions of the gas giants and Camiego itself. And in numbers large enough to be of concern. Trinidad Fade, you note the outdated information and new information is provided that there are only remnants remaining of the biosphere and the temperature is cooling and the atmosphere is no longer breathable.
So, who's going down there?
I am.
Well, yeah, you don't need to breathe. Might want to check, make sure this isn't corrosive like that other stuff was.
I mean, can we look on the sensors? Will it tell us that stuff, or will we need to send an email?
So as last words can be, it's corrosive. Nah, we should scan the thing from orbit.
Yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
something you can try and pick up from the sensors. As you're approaching Trinity Fade, which is another 16 hours. I think that's plus one more day at that point. Things that you can automatically tell are its atmosphere, geology, presence of any advanced energy using surface communities, other ships in orbit, and surface features designed to attract orbital interest. First off, there are no other ships in orbit.
Now here's the question: did we kick on the emissions dampeners?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you?
Wasn't asked to, so didn't.
Man, I gotta feel like we that should be automatic when we're going into a system we don't know.
It takes more time.
Speed isn't really the essence with what we're doing today.
Kind of like declaring that your character is always looking for traps.
Speaking of which, no, I'm kidding. There's no trap.
I mean,
in
if you
sci-fi.
establish as a character and as a hardcore character trait, then you can maybe make that argument with the DM. The absent-minded wizard, no.
Well, I will
Um,
say that if nobody is told Hugo, his previously established character trait is to go fast.
Yeah, but Cap is usually cautious, and she
Okay.
would have been the one to say head out.
Alright, well, Cap isn't here, so
Um,
you guys discuss among yourselves if you think that the emissions damper should be on. You can do this out of character. And I'll follow with
Pirates
her
and
in
mandate.
character.
Yeah, it's a system we've never been to. I would make the argument that we would have, if nothing else, just because we've never been there.
Okay.
Would Hugo have argued against that to try and get there faster?
Nah, he ain't fussed. He ain't fussed about getting to some fucked up planet quicker.
And we don't have to turn them on before we get there, so the speed of getting to the system doesn't get any slower. It's our speed getting around in system that slows down once we kick them in, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a decision you make just as you're exiting meat space.
Metaspace.
Uh,
Meat space
I
is
know.
what you exit into, Matt.
I know. It's just what my brain fills in every time. Of course, now that makes me wonder where meaty space is. Is it better than meat space?
I don't know. The emissions dampers do apply a -2 penalty to drive rating after all other penalties, so that completely negates Hugo's plus drive rating from Starfarer and any attempts to trim the course.
All right, so it sticks us at the one drive rating the ship naturally is.
And a 48-hour transition time.
I'm okay with that being a slowdown. Because, like I said, we've never been here. And this is a system that is notorious in sort of galactic things.
Alright, sounds like everybody's pretty much in agreement. Cap makes that call. You guys apply the emissions dampers. And spend 2 more days traveling. So I assume that's another day on the virus?
Yep.
Okay. I can no longer just cross out the, or write over the number. I have to actually erase it now.
Oh,
That's okay. If you ever need to look it up, I'm also tracking it on my sheet.
Nah, my tracking is a little bit different than yours. Well, it converts differently. It converts the days differently. However, if you want to be extra thorough on your sheet, while you're tracking days, you should track days as a number under your heal skill. So a number of days under heal 1, number of days under heal 2, etc.
Well, I don't remember when those skills went up, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting it as days of work towards.
Okay.
Figured you have a breakdown that at some point it will reach a target number.
That is correct.
Besides, you would have to track it even more, since you'd have to track it since the medbay got upgraded.
If that affects it, yeah. One second.
Well, it would, since you declared it, it's a +1 bonus.
It is a +1 bonus.
Did you see the message I sent, Mike?
I did not. Hang on. Nemo doesn't get a response back immediately. But now do you see it? Yes.
Yep.
Alright, we're back in sync with each other. You guys are approaching the planet. You can see that the atmosphere is simply not breathable, but it's not otherwise dangerous. The temperature is temperate but chilly. There are no other ships in orbit as you're approaching. And there are numerous surface features designed to attract orbital interest. Well, saying that they were designed to attract orbital interest is a little bit misleading. They simply attract orbital interest. Mainly just the size of large cities and the the prevalence of solar energy recovery. There are swaths of this planet that just look like one great big giant solar panel. Is there anything else that you were looking for, Nick?
Anything basically active energy output.
Go ahead and roll. That sounds like a hidden or low-tech communities question.
Yes.
She can't detect anything.
Now, we do have the location where the cache is supposed to be.
You do. You've got exact coordinates.
Well, in that case, next thing would be to basically get a scan of that area to see if there's anything down there, any structures, or what the terrain is like there.
I don't believe that even involves a roll. You can see from what little detail you can get from your ship's sensors and cameras. It looks like it is in a stretch of nowhereness. There does appear to be a road passing through this stretch of nowhereness. The line that Colleen has seen is far too straight to be anything but a man-made structure, and she can get closer and get some better resolution images of it. Yeah, that's just a road. There's a very long road connecting cities, very straight. And your cache is located along that road between the two cities, not really close to either one of them.
Well,
So we're taking a ride to nowhere.
looks more like a road to nowhere.
Well, we know where we're going.
Yeah.
You do.
You ain't being able to detect whether or not that's corrosive down there, right?
That looked fine. Though she would actually look if there's anyone on the planet where there are unusual weather patterns taking place. Like other, let's say, periodic events or anything that could develop.
I want to get down there and have a hurricane.
She's not able to see anything like that in the sensory data that's coming back to her. Nothing localized or global appears to be of anything different from just normal weather patterns.
Alright, well, it's a go. Are there any signs of, let's say, heavy impacts, like someone might have dropped some big bombs down there? Any signs of basically of destruction, or did they all kind of just suffocate?
I'm gonna include this in the surface features designed to attract orbital interest and not count it against her scan questions. She did not see anything like that.
Okay. Well, let's get this over with.
Yeah, sounds about right. Who's going down, Cap?
Cap looks at Nemo and says, "Is Nova okay on this? I'd like her to go if she can."
He most emphatically does not wish to.
Alright, but can you keep her on the line in case we need her?
I can, though she does not. Though this is a topic she does not wish to discuss any further.
Yeah, well, if I need her, she needs to respond. She doesn't have to come down, but she does have to communicate with us.
I will let her know if that becomes necessary, then, Captain.
Alright.
This is apparently a topic that causes her great, substantial emotional distress.
I wonder how close she was to any of it. Alright, we'll try not to need her, I guess. Are there any players that would really like to go down and be involved in this?
Well, Nemo, obviously.
Right.
Dude, definitely.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Berlin points out if they run into any sort of computerized system down there, they kind of need her. So
Yeah.
Okay. And given the proximity of pirates at Kamiego. And,
Arlene needs to mend the gun.
well, more than that, and the atmosphere on the planet is still sufficient enough that landing will obscure the ship. Cap actually says, take the Raza down. And then, Hugo can join them on the actual cache investigation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And as the ship comes down, Colleen is as ship is coming into near Earth orbit, and getting clearer view of the location that you're approaching. Colleen is able to, she can confirm that it is indeed a road. Not that she really had much reason to doubt that. There's a stretch of highway between two cities, and she's making out that the little imperfections she saw along the highway are cars. You get closer and you see cars all along the highway are almost all pulled over to the side. There are a couple that are not pulled over to the side. Those have crashed. The road is disturbingly straight, and clearly of some more advanced construction than simple paving and asphalt. Looks like probably some kind of composite plastic.
See, I thought it was going to go for like above ground hyperloop or like a magnetic kind of.
No, it's just sitting flat on the ground. You actually can see the road lit from underneath, marking the lanes. It looks like one of our normal 2-lane roads, just very long, made of plastic and with LED bits. Cap has Hugo land the ship about 30 meters away from the coordinates. Coordinates that Jupiter gave you, very precisely pointing at a spot beside that road.
Better bring out the shovels then.
I mean, does it give a depth? So it could be underneath, you know. In case we'd have to try and find like an entrance or something.
It does not give a depth.
There's no XYZ.
Yep.
We'll go to examine the spot.
Alright, those of you that need to breathe will need some kind of vac suit or vac skin. You would also be able to breathe, I believe, with just an atmo filter if you wanted to go bare skin. Vac suits do apply a -2 penalty to skill checks, I believe, and attacks.
Do we not
That's right.
have the
We've
armored
got like
ones, do we?
skin.
Armored applies the same penalty.
Well, right. But
Because
vac
it's
skin
exactly
doesn't.
bulky. Vac skin, there's no disadvantage to it.
Correct.
Oh, Colleen's definitely wearing a black skin.
Ah, yes, a -2 penalty to all hit rolls and skill checks that require movement.
well, then I think Dude will stick with his armored undersuit and then just a rebreather or a atmosphere processor.
Let's see. Yeah. Attaching the standard vac suit oxygen bottle to a belt-mounted feed will also supply breathable atmosphere for up to 6 hours. So yeah, that's easily doable. And since your ship is so close, you're not going to run out of oxygen unless you spend more than 6 hours out here.
Right.
Without, specifically going back to refill.
Well, again, so gets his toolbox and it's all set. The meta tool. Stows his low light goggles and combat shotgun.
All right.
He does not bring his guitar.
Everybody's character sheets all set with your equipment readied and stowed.
Yep.
Yep. Meta tool and shotgun readied. Everything else stowed.
Okay.
Well, and armored undersuit.
Right. Eileen is staying with the ship. Actually, none of the NPCs are coming with you on this one.
Not even Cap.
Not even Cap. I had expected that she would go. I can't imagine Cap not going to this.
She is explicitly gone on every single one of
Yeah.
these things.
She's very much lead from the front.
Yeah.
It's the Star Trek tradition.
Yes, let the captain and the first officer leave the ship at the same time, along with most of the bridge crew.
That makes sense.
Oh, totally.
All right. So yes, Cap is going with you. All of the PCs are going. As you step out of your ship, climb down your ladder, you can actually see skeletons along the road, scattered here and there, but there are some skeletons that are just right in the middle of the road. Those that you see appear to be closer to the cars that are not pulled aside. And now that you're closer, also, those cars that are not pulled to the side, they look like they're older models. They have distinctly different styling than all the cars that are pulled, and I might add, pulled very neatly and uniformly to the side of the road.
We're in Germany.
I don't think so.
Yeah, one of my German teachers very liked to point out very much that Germany's road system is not very well designed.
No, not at all.
Like it grew organically.
Yeah,
imagine
that's actually
that.
what she would say, because it's so old.
Well, yeah, that'd be. I got to figure that's most of Europe, whereas America.
Yeah.
What's here?
Kind of
Nothing.
is.
Put a road.
Yeah.
The main problem is that 2/3 of Europe is using it is all trying to use it at the same time during the summer.
So would that be what, half of California?
Anyways,
Can I roll a notice check to look at one of these bodies and see if it looks like it's ever been disturbed after it just laid down and died?
I mean, you certainly can approach and inspect the bodies. You don't necessarily need a notice check for what I'm about to tell you. If you want to know more, you can certainly roll something.
Okay.
But you guys are
Say
all
your piece.
You guys are all approaching the road. Dude wants to take a look, angle towards one of the road bodies. Does anybody else want to approach or investigate anything else, or are you kind of following
approach
where
it, yeah.
Dude's going?
Nemo is going to the specific sides of the coordinates to investigate that.
Okay.
Colleen specifically does not investigate the bodies.
Ben.
Hugo is going to go look at the vehicles,
Okay.
see if there's anything nice.
Okay. Cap goes with Colleen and Nemo to the site while Hugo and Dude kind of take a look around.
So Siri is in the air to basically track any sort of movement that's around
Okay.
if anything comes up.
All right. There is no QECM here. Hugo would have gotten to one of the cars first, and Hugo sees almost skeletonized bodies. They are decayed and not rotted. They're done rotting, but they haven't been exposed to the elements. So there are mummified, I think is the right way of putting that.
Mm-hmm.
There are mummified bodies inside the cars, and he can see where their various cybernetic bits have fallen out of their shrinking flesh. Some are still attached to bits of flesh. Others have.
Out of curiosity, he's going to try and pick one up and have a look at it.
Okay. He will need to break into one of the vehicles to do that.
Ooh. First, he's going to go to the trunk. He's going to pull out a little what do you call it? Like a shimmy almost, just like pop up on the trunk so he can disconnect the battery. So obviously,
Okay.
you meant to do it from inside, but you can actually just get a bit of crowbar and just...
Well, these cars are unlike anything he's accustomed to. But he is accustomed to all kinds of racing, so let's just get a quick int pilot check from him.
Okay. Pilot, no modifier, intelligence. Roll.
Okay.
14.
Okay. He is able to easily find what mechanisms will disconnect various systems and allow him access to the car. He finds that there are some maintained electronic locks in place, as well as the actual physical locks.
I'll just use my little toolkit to make sure to turn them all off so there's no alarm.
He disconnects the vehicle from a very, very small trickle charge from the road.
And then he'll attempt to open the door now that it's been disconnected.
It opens. One of the first things he notices on opening the door, even though he's specifically looking to mess around with some of the cybernetics, is that on the center console there's just driver medical emergency alert displayed, and appears to it has one of those running bars, or not bars, but the running ellipses, the running squares that glides across that little console screen.
And if I were to look in the back seat, are there like suitcases or bags or anything?
No.
And if I were to just literally go outside and look in the trunk, are there any suitcases or bags?
No.
So they weren't in an emergency getting away. Actually, he's not going to go touch it. He's going to like snock to. Seeing as they weren't aware of it, he's not going to touch it, and he's just going to go meet up with Colleen and Cap and Nemo.
Okay. Dude, at one of the actual skeletonized bodies on the road, he sees all of the cybernetic bits, except anything that may have been grafted to a bone or a cybernetic limb, have fallen off of the skeleton. There is no flesh left. These have been exposed to wind and the elements.
Okay. But there's no missing bones. It doesn't look like a dog or an animal or anything came up and like took bits of it off. It just lay down, died, and that's where it's been the entire time.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it laid down and died. Its position suggests a more rigorous activity.
Right.
And
But I
that
mean,
you could roll a heal check for if you want. Heal or no. A no will get a little bit less specific information.
Let's see here.
I kind of crawl in on my hands and knees.
I've got a -1 to heal and a +0 to no. Eesh. Usually I rest unless and now we're gonna go no. He's not gonna try and tap his non-existent medical knowledge.
Well, remember,
no.
it's not what he's doing; it's what you're doing. Well, what part of his brain are you trying to tap into? Because he's not. I can never think of characters as specifically looking at this like thinking, I'm gonna try and medical this.
Well, no, but I mean, what knowledge they're using as while they're looking at it, what they're thinking about. Yeah, he's not thinking like a medical type thing. He's like, no, he's just wondering about something. So
Okay.
just no
That's fair.
intelligence.
Yes, no intelligence.
Yeesh.
No intelligence is. We got no
Firmly average.
The best you can really get with that is that yes, it looks like he or she was engaged in some kind of rigorous activity before collapsing. There are arms askew that don't suggest any sort of just lying down and dying or any kind of crawling.
Right. What I mean by that, is it complete in that spot?
Yes, no bones are missing.
Okay.
One thing he does notice, because dude does have notice 0, right? At least?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing he does notice is that this particular specimen has some pretty has cybernetics that appear to be have fallen straight away from its neck, from the spine of its neck.
While all he's wearing is the armored undersuit and a rebreather, will you allow me that dude is also at least wearing, basic gloves?
Sure.
Okay. He kind of leans down and he picks up a bit of the cybernetics just to see if it, just from his basic, his solid mechanical and engineering background, if he can even get an idea of what it might be. Just a general, like being able to know a clock when you see one kind of thing.
This is also a heal skill check, which you would not need to roll if you had any heal, but I'm allowing you to roll because he has fix.
Heal.
I mean, he could ask for help.
Heal int.
This is nothing but idle curiosity at this exact point. This isn't him going, hey, I want somebody to help me with this. This is him just going, huh.
Yeah. It appears to be a basically an oxygen filter, a rebreather, much like he has, just no obviously attached oxygen supply.
Right.
It dude can piece together that this dude was probably moving away from one of the cars that has an open door along the side, or that just didn't park, just stopped and didn't park, farther away, and ran as far as he could, as long as the whatever piece of hardware dude is holding could continue to pull oxygen out of the air.
All right, now you said cybernetics, not just a mechanical thing. So this was probably dude gets the impression this was built into the guy.
This was built into the guy.
All right, so all right.
And I'll say that if he looks down the road, that the few others that have this, maybe even uses some of those. I think you guys have binoculars, but just general information. Any of them that appear to have been running have the same basic equipment. I'll have some kind of cybernetic that was trying to pull oxygen from a rapidly depleting oxygen source.
So whatever happened on a long enough timeline for people to start getting modified to try and bypass it. He straightens up and starts heading over to where he sees Nemo. He kind of figures Nemo would have stayed on. Just let's get the job done.
You guys get to those of you that went straight to get to a patch of ground just off the side of the road that looks no different from any other patch of ground off the side of the road. Are shovels available in equipment?
I was going to say,
Hopefully.
did the instructions say dig?
I mean, Hugo's a survival kit, but it's back on this ship, so I didn't think he'd need one.
And I can't really justify that dude's toolkit would have a any kind of camp shovel or anything in it. It's a mechanics toolkit.
I mean, the ship is
Would
only
we
30
have
meters away.
Yeah, I mean, would we have anticipated this, or does somebody have to go back in and get shovels?
Someone's gonna have to go back in.
Yeah. That dude kind of. So the instruction didn't say dig or anything, but it looks like that's what it's going to have to be. I'll go get the digging equipment. He kind of kicks at the ground. Does he think that the what is it, the laser cutting thing for outsides of ships might? Do you think this ship might melt, or is it just dust?
It might melt.
Or vaporize?
It might do either. He could certainly try it if he wants.
He'd grab shovels and that.
I mean, it'll get through a door at least.
Yeah, the mining laser. The biggest risk that he faces with that is if it does vaporize, that's bad.
Right. Yeah. Might destroy the thing we're looking for.
I'm just thinking of the cloud of vaporized gas expanding.
Yes, very true too. He just grabs the shovels.
He that's not to say that he can't use the mining laser. It's something that he would just have to put a little bit more caution into. He wouldn't just want to aim and fire.
Yeah. He heads to the ship, grabs the shovels and the mining laser, comes back, plunks the shovels down, and says, "All right, I'm gonna walk over a couple of meters and test this out on the ground and see how effective it might be and how controllable it's going to be. You can start digging. I'm going to run a quick equipment test on this thing." and he heads a ways down,
Okay.
away to fiddle with some settings, see what he can figure out.
What is his fix at?
+3 now.
Okay. The rest of you, what are you doing?
It's doing aerial surveillance to basically get some shots from above to see whether any structures here, things like that.
What's the range on that?
2 kilometers.
She sees no structures.
I see Nemo's still carrying the survey scanner. Can that pick up anything?
Let me look at the survey scanner again.
I mean, the range of the drone, how far it can fly, that's 100. That's 100 kilometers. It's just the sensor suite.
Well, the supervision it has is 2 kilometers, where it can read lips at 2 kilometers.
Yeah,
Sure, they can
even
really
at
read.
distance, it sees no structures. I mean, it's seeing past. If there was a structure, like
Sure,
say,
in Texas.
like 5 kilometers away, it would still see it. It's not seeing anything in any direction.
Well, in this case, it's a bit more specific. Basically, from what we know from aerial shots of the ruins, we can say, okay, there might have been a structure there, cause from above, it looks different. That's
And-
kind of what she's focused on.
And I would say that as you were coming down in the ship, she doesn't even need to look for structures with the drone. This was a very long, expansive highway. We're talking 150 kilometers.
Oh, very stuff on a highway.
People who want to hide stuff in a perfectly out of place way.
Yeah, nobody's gonna stop. It's a completely
mean-
random place.
Area 51 yesterday. Could really go there. Yeah, seeing as Hugo isn't strong at all, he's gonna help Dude out with whatever he's.
And to answer your question, Mel, the survey scanner isn't really designed in such a. It doesn't really provide, according to the description, benefits that would be particularly helpful, but I could see Nemo. There is information that Nemo could glean from it if he wants to take a look at it, fiddle around, and look at some of the surrounding area.
Sure.
Okay. It is a off standard use, so let's go ahead and get a int. And what skill would you like to use with that?
Isn't the survey scanner no-based anyway?
It doesn't say.
Actually, it does. No skills are necessary for any but the most basic analysis.
Oh, that is on the second page.
So, no.
Int no.
Take that.
The dice landed on each other and then rolled off.
Yep.
Neat.
Not bad.
No, that is not bad. It is very, very subtle. And the difference is invisible to the naked eye. But the gravel and dirt and just the ground composition of the ground that you were given coordinates to is different from that of the ground composition about 10 meters down the road in either direction. It looks like it is a little bit denser, and it has some unusual properties. Nemo can kind of extrapolate that those properties are designed to defeat ground penetrating scans.
We'll certainly relay that information.
It just makes whatever's under it look like solid, normal ground, the same as everything else around.
Would certainly indicate that we need to dig in this particular area.
Okay.
Well, did we have shovels?
You do have shovels.
Then Nemo will start digging.
Okay. Digging his first few strikes, and a couple of a few inches down are just moving dirt, and then he strikes about what's half a foot. Half a foot is too small to convert into meters, so I mean it literally can't be done.
It's 15 centimeters.
No, it's just too small. About 15 to 20 centimeters down is something substantially more solid. You can scrape along and dig around that, and he sees a stair. Actually, it's
Stair?
a platform, but yes, it has an edge that leads down to another, the first of many stairs going down.
I appear to have struck pay dirt.
By this time, dude has futzed around with the settings, using a little bit of help from Hugo, even if not mechanically, but definitely observationally, to try and not melt and not vaporize, but destroy enough dirt with a mining laser without making it a hazard. So the mining laser can certainly help with the digging efforts, if for nothing else than just making it so that the dirt isn't automatically falling back in. In fact, that I'll say that that's probably one of the bigger benefits is glassifying dirt walls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How deep was that down, you said?
About 15 to 20 centimeters.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's less than a shovel blade.
Shovel blades aren't a foot long. That's silly.
They are actually a foot long.
It's sort of almost specifically that.
Yup. It's very specifically that.
I didn't say.
So
It was Mel that said 15
regular
centimeters.
size?
I would have said
Yeah.
like 30 centimeters.
Have you never
That
seen
is the
that's a
length of
foot.
a shovel blade.
That's a foot.
40 centimeters.
Just
It's deep enough that he was able to move a couple of shovelfuls of dirt and,
Mm-hmm.
before striking.
Well, that would be, yeah, well, I was gonna say that's deeper down. Otherwise, it's just the area that he has to clear. But yeah, shovel blade, 30 centimeters.
Maybe yours isn't. You guys have dinky shovels.
Maybe shovels in the future are smaller.
They're survival shovels. They have to fit into smaller packs, which actually they actually would be smaller for the survival. To make the survival kit not a 10 encumbrance item.
Actually, they're not. The handle just collapses around the middle.
No, they're smaller.
Yeah.
I'm declaring them smaller.
In the future, shovels are smaller.
Yes. You don't need to use them as often, so they're smaller.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
we also
Future
don't,
shovels.
Yes, we also don't bury people 6 feet deep anymore.
Yeah. 2 shovels? Or is it the shovel of the future, or is it future shovels? dude he comes over and he sees how easy it was to uncover the front of this. Well, shit, man, I feel a little silly for bringing all this equipment out. But who knows how much earth we gotta move, so let's get to it.
You guys start moving earth using a mining laser and a shovel in coordination.
Yes. Future shovel.
Future shovel, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, survival shovel. I think actual shovels can be normal size, and they've probably got some kind of improvement in something. But I'm maintaining that the shovel in survival kits is smaller. The survival kit in total is 1 encumbrance. You're lucky. You're lucky it doesn't contain a simple hand trowel.
I'm more basing it on the military shovel that
That'd be
carry around.
hilarious.
Those things collapse. Super small.
Yep.
I get you, and I think that would be in more than this 1 encumbrance survival kit.
Right. What do they call them? Entrenching tools.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because of course there has to be a fucking name for it.
Well, we will excavate.
Okay. It does take some time. Let's see, how far down did I say this was? It's kind of loud music, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my headset is usually pretty loud, and this is fine.
Okay. Hang on real quick.
But we are coming up on time.
We are.
Yeah.
Mhm. One second. Okay. I'm just gonna go with what I set as a standard and say that it is about 10 meters of digging before you reach what looks like a hatch. The stairs are going more or less straight down, although they curve slightly in to go under the road once there's enough clearance for people walking. And the glassing the side walls is actually saving quite a lot of time, because otherwise you'd need to try and figure out how to build something to hold the dirt from collapsing in on you, or just excavate that much more. And we'll go ahead and end at you reaching that hatch. And scraping it off. There's a plastisteel type covering over a powered display screen with console buttons and everything. It is all in symbolic trim. And as soon as you open up that plastisteel hatch and look on it, it activates and has all kinds of foreign language you don't understand.
Fascinating.
And we'll end it there.